The Ugly Duckling series tells a story of a beautiful 18-year-old girl named Janita who is having a conversation with her maid, Aoi. Janita is a beautiful and rich girl. She lived with her mother, who had a similar beauty and character, and her maid. The next scene shows Janita's perfect life. She often uploads photos of herself through social media, where many people have followed her account. The perfection of Janita's life is more complete because she has a handsome and rich boyfriend and close friends who are good to her. Even she often hears that she is the luckiest girl in the world. Back to the initial scene, when Janita was conversing with Aoi, the maid apparently told the ugly duckling tale about an ugly duckling who turned into a beautiful white swan queen. When Aoi told how the ugly duckling was kicked out because of its ugly face, Janita replied that the duck deserved to be expelled. Then Aoi denied it by saying that all girls have their own beauty, although they are different. Moreover, at the end of the story, the ugly duckling becomes a white swan that is so beautiful. After hearing the story, Janita gives Aoi her cell phone to take her picture. She then advised Aoi to take good photos and not make her look fat. The photo was then uploaded by Janita to Instagram. The scene moves where Janita will go with her boyfriend, who has already picked her up in front of the house. Before going on a date, they took a photo and uploaded it to Instagram. When Janita returned home, she checked the uploaded photo and saw netizens' comments saying she had such a big face. This immediately worries Janita, and she calls her boyfriend, who doesn't really respond to Janita's complaints because, in fact, he is having an affair with another girl. Finally, Janita was determined to diet and lose weight. A few days later, when her boyfriend came back to ask her out on a date, she proudly said she had lost weight and they intended to celebrate by eating cake together. While eating cake, Janita's boyfriend apparently took a photo of Janita and uploaded it secretly to Instagram. The photo received various negative comments from netizens, making Janita again worried and not confident. When she expressed her concerns to her friends through a group chat, they suggested she do a thread lift. At first, Janita was reluctant to do the plastic surgery procedure, but the words of her friends in the group chat made her self-confidence soar, so she decided to follow the advice. Long story short, Janita went to the doctor for a thread lift procedure. But unexpectedly, after doing this and returning home, Janita's face was covered with lots of pimples. She immediately rushed back to consult the doctor, who diagnosed that the thread lift injection marks on Janita's face had an infection due to tap water. So there are consequences that really rarely happened before. The doctor said that the acne on Janita's face would heal within a year with the recommended incentive treatment. When Janita returned home, her condition made her mother worried. Because they already have plans to attend various events, they will meet a lot of people. Janita's feelings are broken when she invites her friends to go for a walk, but they refuse because of the condition of Janita's facial skin. Even when Janita's boyfriend came to the house that afternoon, he felt surprised and scared to see her. He asks her not to get too close, and he shares plans to continue his studies abroad. So he asked to break up with her for 1 year so he could focus on studying to prepare for school. Not only that, but he promised not to have a new girlfriend and asked Janita to do the treatment so that her skin condition returned to normal. Janita's heart was so broken that she cried after her boyfriend left. At that time, Aoi approached and tried to calm Janita, who said that no one in this world truly loved her. Aoi then said that she really sincerely loves her. However, Janita's sadness doesn't go away when night comes. Janita is still crying and expressing her sad feelings on her Facebook status, where she wrote that she was the most unlucky girl. Someone replied to the Facebook status with a duck profile picture. The person wrote why she was so sad because she wasn't beautiful when many people had more miserable life and sent her a link to the Ugly Duckling Club website. Without thinking any longer, Janita opened the link, which is apparently a club for people who are not beautiful but still confident in their differences. After browsing the forum content, she created an account and shared her feelings of insecurity that she experienced in a post. The next day, Janita still doesn't believe in herself and tries to cover her face when she leaves the house. People pay a lot of attention to Janita, who looks weird with the scarf covering most of her face. On the other hand, Janita's post on the Ugly Duckling Club forum got many responses. One of them was from a forum member who suggested that she seek treatment at a clinic in a quite remote area. Janita then rushed to meet her mother to express her desire to go to the area. Not only that, she apparently intends to continue her studies in that area as well. Janita's mother refused, but when Janita approached her, she was frightened and immediately allowed her to go. But Janita's mother said that Aoi's had to come to accompany her. The decision to continue studying abroad made Janita very happy. While packing, someone at the Ugly Duckling club suggested that she pretend to be a poor girl if she moved to the area. She thought that it was a good idea because she became able to experience life as an ordinary girl. Long story short, they went to the area and Janita visited the campus. While walking on campus, a male student greeted her. The male student with a handsome face is named Suea and is one of the seniors on the campus. He was curious because Janita was still covering her face with the scarf, but she refused to open the scarf and reveal her face. He thought that she was a shy person and only showed the location of the new student introductions. Janita gets to know B at the welcoming ceremony, a male student who apparently likes Suea very much. The welcoming ceremony for new students was lively. Even though their friends and seniors think that Janita is quite weird because she keeps covering her face with a scarf, they still have fun and make her very happy. After the welcome ceremony, Janita goes to the campus dormitory with Aoi. Unfortunately, the state of the campus dormitories is apparently very alarming. Even Janita can barely get a room because she has to find 3 other new female students who can be invited to share the same room. Fortunately, 3 female students were looking for an additional 1 person to share a room at that time. One of the 3 girls is named Ning and she invites Janita to join them in the same room. She was relieved and immediately registered her name to live in a dorm room with the 3 other female students. They entered the room together, which was no less scary and pathetic. While eating snacks together, Janita had to remove the scarf that covered her face, causing her 3 roommates to ask about her skin condition. Seeing Janita saddened by the question, Ning tried to cheer her up and they continued their friendly conversation while eating snacks. However, when Janita went to the toilet, she heard 2 other friends complaining to Ning about Janita's skin condition and worried that it was contagious. Janita's friends' words made Janita even more insecure, so she went to the campus introduction event wearing sunglasses and a scarf that covered her entire face the next day. Unexpectedly, because Janita was busy conversing with B, a senior doing campus introductions called her to come forward. She was asked to take off the glasses and scarf she was wearing. However, because of the senior's shout, she was afraid and cried. Suea, part of the senior group conducting the campus introduction orientation, approached Janita and calmed her down. Then he asked if she had serious health problems that required her to wear a scarf and glasses. When Janita said no, Suea convinced her to take off her scarf and glasses. In the end, Janita did as Suea said. The first-year students and seniors laughed at Janita's condition, making Suea furious and stopped their banter. Suea defended Janita in front of the other seniors and then convinced her not to pay attention to what people said and become more confident. Unfortunately, Suea's words made her cry even more and she finally ran away from the campus introduction orientation event. Suea followed Janita, who chose to sit alone in the campus garden. He offered his handkerchief when he saw she was crying and then tried to persuade her by saying he would be her friend. Long story short, at the end of the campus introduction orientation event, the senior revealed that there were senior spies among the new students. The spy is the figure of a senior in the 3rd year who pretends to be the first-year student to spy on them. Unexpectedly, the spy was Ning. Janita was surprised to find out that her roommate was a 3rd-year student. Another fact was revealed at the end of the orientation event regarding Ning and Suea, who were actually dating. Not only that, they even live together in an apartment outside the campus area. Time passes, and Janita begins to live her life as an average student at a campus on the outskirts of town. In class, a lecturer asked the students to talk about the tourist spots they visited, and Janita came forward to talk about a big shopping center in downtown Bangkok that she used to frequent. Then, she talked about branded goods in the mall to famous restaurants in front of the class. Janita's story made the lecturer angry and asked her to tell the real tourist spot the next day. As soon as class was over, Janita went to the campus park and sat alone. She felt sad because the lecturer scolded her in front of the class. Finally, Suea came and Janita told him about her sadness, which made him laugh because she, studying tourism, should have told him about tourist attractions instead of shopping centers. The meeting with Suea again motivated Janita to look for tourist attractions that she would be able to tell about in class. That night at the hostel, it was raining heavily. Janita and her 2 friends gathered because, coincidentally, at that time, the electricity went out and their room leaked. They couldn't move to another room in the dorm because they were all full. They finally decided to stay at another friend's place and Janita called Ning to ask if she could stay at her apartment. Ning agreed, and they lived together in Ning's apartment with Suea. After picking up Janita from the dormitory, Suea asks permission for Ning to go to work. It turned out that Suea had been working while studying because his economic situation was not good. A few days later, Janita and her friends wanted to have lunch together. But Suea's motorbike broke down at that time, and his sandals broke. Suea intended to fix the sandals he was wearing, but Ning threw them away instead. She was angry with Suea, who was considered too stingy because he kept on repairing the damaged ones instead of buying new sandals. Ning's anger made Suea furious because she actually knew how her boyfriend's economic condition was. So he tells her to buy him new sandals and tells her that she is a rich girl. Hearing this, Ning was furious and left Suea. Even though Ning didn't come, Suea still went to lunch with Junita and her friends. While eating, a worried Suea asked him if he had gone too far with Ning. Janita advised that Ning was actually only worried about him. The explanation relieved Suea so much that he took out his outdated cell phone and called Ning to apologize. After that, the two of them made up again. The next day, Aoi helps Janita move into the apartment next to Ning and Suea while the dorm room is repaired. After that, they went shopping at the supermarket where they accidentally bumped into Ning with another man. Janita tried to hide from them until Janita and Aoi ate beside Ning's table and overheard their conversation. Apparently, the man was Ning's fiancé, whom her parents had arranged for her. Meanwhile, Ning's parents didn't even know she was still dating Suea. But even though Janita tried to hide, Ning still caught her, and she immediately left the restaurant. In the apartment, Janita secretly feels more feelings for Suea. Especially after she found out that Ning had cheated on him. The next day, Janita and B accidentally meet Suea, who works as a cashier at a DVD rental place. Janita and Suea chatted, and she asked if he had ever thought about cheating on Ning. Suea initially thought the question was to test his feelings for Ning, who was a close friend of Janita's. He then explained that he was a poor person, so he believed the people with him were sincere because they no longer looked at material things. Another fact about Suea was revealed when they were all drinking together. He said that his parents had died, so he used to live in the temple. This makes him have to go to college and work because he supports himself. The story about Suea's past touched Janita. She took Suea's hand without thinking, to which he responded. Time passed until Ning and Janita passed each other on the apartment stairs. Ning asked Janita to speak to her, and she explained what Janita had heard at the restaurant a few days earlier. It turned out that Ning had known the man for a long time, whose name was Todd, and their parents were very close. Ning reveals that her parents don't like Suea because they see him having no future as a child who only lives in a temple. Meanwhile, Todd is considered capable of guaranteeing her future, considering that he graduated abroad. Ning was in a difficult situation where she couldn't choose between Todd and Suea. Janita chimed in by asking if Ning still loved Suea, to which she answered less convincingly. She then added that Janita will know how it feels to choose between the future and love. The next day, Ning suddenly calls and asks Janita to help remove Suea's belongings from the apartment. It seemed that Todd and Ning's parents would soon be coming to the apartment, and they shouldn't know that Ning and Suea had been living together all this time. Janita rushed back to the apartment and moved Suea's things to her room with the help of B. When Janita leaves the apartment building after Janita and B get to know Ning and Todd's parents, she runs into Suea instead. She was confused as to make he did not return to the apartment. She had no choice but to explain that Ning's parents were in the apartment, so Suea couldn't go to the apartment for a while. They finally decided to go for a walk together while waiting for Ning's parents to leave the apartment. The scene changed when Janita and her friends ate with Ning and Suea. B quips Ning by saying a cheater won't be happy. Ning was irritated by the aspersion and left immediately, followed by a confused Suea. Meanwhile, B doesn't feel guilty for upsetting Ning and says that cheating women deserve it. On the other hand, Suea apparently failed to persuade Ning, so he returned and continued eating with Janita and B. Unfortunately, at that time, Todd came to see Ning. B and Janita, who saw Todd, tried to hide, but it was too late because he approached and greeted them. For a while, they were relieved to think he was just saying hello after meeting yesterday at the apartment. When Todd was about to leave, he asked them where Ning was. Todd's question made Suea realize that Ning had been having an affair with him. Whereas Todd insisted that Ning had broken up with Suea. This irritated Suea, and he immediately hit him. He is angry with Janita and B, who apparently found out about Ning's affair. After that, Suea pulled Todd to meet Ning, where in the end, all the secrets were revealed. Ning tells Suea about her father asking her to marry Tot after graduation and Suea being judged to have no future. Suea was unyielding, insisting he would work hard for Ning and her future and intending to marry her after they graduated. He realized that she had never wanted to fight with him. When he begs her to give him a chance to prove himself, she still refuses and asks for a breakup. After his relationship ended with Ning, Suea disappeared, and even Janita, who was looking for him, couldn't find him. Janita's anxiety, busy looking for Suea, makes her friends suspect she likes him. So they advised her to openly confess her feelings to him. Time flies and Janita bumps into Suea on the apartment stairs. She told the truth about being worried about Suea's condition and hugged him. Then Suea explained that he had started to forget Ning and asked Janita to retrieve his things from Ning's apartment room. The scene changes when Janita and B go to a bookstore where, without them knowing, Suea is working as a cashier. They met and Suea followed Janita, who was looking for books. He suddenly asks if Janita has a boyfriend, to which she answers that her boyfriend is an adult who currently doesn't know where. Although initially disappointed, Suea eventually realizes that she is lying and doesn't actually have a boyfriend. Then he asks her for a dinner date together. At the apartment, Janita again wrote about Suea on the Ugly Duckling Club forum, and a forum user responded with a comment that she had fallen in love with him. Seeing this reply, she became shy and immediately closed the laptop. The Ugly Duckling series closes with Janita still blushing, realizing her feelings for Suea, which marks the love story's beginning. The moral that can be learned from this movie is that acne is not the world's end. It could even be the beginning of a sweeter love story.